Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mondays with Bev and Paul, February 5, 2018. And what? And
And there
my
we
name's
are.
Paul.
And my name's Bev.
Hi, Bev.
Hi, Paul.
Oh, do we have a great show for you today? We have a wonderful question, and here it is. Here it is. How does BioTouch relate to the Super Bowl?
Okay.
So just you hang in there and we're going to answer that question.
We're going to try. We're going to try.
There's a name to put out there on the internet. So, yeah, we're going to answer that question. And these shows are designed to answer a question for you and to mainly teach you how to do BioTouch and also to highlight one of the pieces of our manual or the book written by Deborah Schildhouse.
Yes. And, have a dialogue with us if that's something you would like to do. Send us questions or comments. We really love to hear from that. And to share always what's going on in the world with BioTouch.
Yes.
We have some amazing...
And it is going on.
It's going on. Yep.
So we had a couple of things happen this past week we wanted to share with you all. First of all, we had an open house.
Yes.
That was awesome on Saturday.
That was wonderful.
We had 8 staff members and at least 12 visitors.
Yeah, that came in and for the first time, as you put it, and visited the center and had mini sessions of BioTouch. It was wonderful.
Wonderful thing. It was only 2 hours. We had one group come at like right at 1, and then the next group showed up at 2.
I know.
Little presentation.
Yeah.
And we presented about the BioBall, the scientific proof of why we touch on the skin. Maybe next week we'll show it to you.
Yeah.
If you want to see it right away, it's on our YouTube BioTouch site of YouTube. Also, we had an annual board meeting. Thank you for setting that up.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
My goodness.
Bev is the president of the board of the International Foundations of Biomagnetics, and we really appreciate all the work you've done in guiding that board.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm very honored to be doing that.
And so what we did is we shared from the executive director, yours truly, about what we've done in 2017, and Bev shared what our goals are for 2018.
Oh.
And it is super. Even better than the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We also had a stroke workshop a couple of weeks ago, and the interesting thing about that is it's now up on YouTube. It's also on our website if you look up stroke. And we had somebody that contacted us who wants to know about how to work on joint replacements, and they saw we're having that workshop this month, but they can't come here. They live in Texas. Well, we live stream it.
We have an answer for him.
Yes, we live stream it on the last fourth Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. Tucson time, and then it gets posted on our YouTube site and also on our website.
Yep.
So he's got it.
Yep,
and he's a member, so he can download the workbook himself.
I'm just going to say, yeah, we've got you covered.
So be a member, get the whole manual with the DVD. We're going to share some points today. And also you can get all the workbooks from the different workshops that we've had on special conditions that we work with.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so the question of the day, how does BioTouch relate to the Super Bowl? Well, here we go. So I watched the whole Super Bowl.
Wow.
The whole thing. Great show. And there were 3 points that were brought up, and we'll discuss those today, that I thought about when I was watching it in relation to BioTouch. And that first one that we should talk about is the underdog. So the underdog won. And it was really exciting to see how they just they were there. The whole, they were there. They didn't falter. Everybody, there's no way they were going to win against this big team, but they did, and they just persevered. So I thought about BioTouch, and how you've always talked about, we've always been sort of the quiet child in the corner or something.
Yeah. But when I started working with you, that was my first take on BioTouch. I'm like, oh my goodness, here's this amazing modality, and we're like in the corner. And we have all of these other modalities that are out there yelling about what they have to offer, how it is, what it is. And we're just sitting, there going, yes. And then here's BioTouch, and so. And what's interesting is at this point, 3 years later, we are now really in the midst of stepping out of that corner and proclaiming our importance in the world right now for humanity, and that we are worthwhile. We need to take our rightful place in the healing community. It's time.
Yes.
Enough.
And we've been just throwing those passes. We've been hitting our receivers, and we've been teaching people how to do this for 30 years now. And you know something? We're coming to the final quarter of the game, and touchdown.
So as we're always saying, what that team did was they consistently persevered. They held together. They held the integrity. And that was it. That's what BioTouch, that's what we put out there.
So, and in relation to a team who thought they had it all wrapped up. And the people, I remember at the last thing, my brother was even saying, oh, that's all right. He'll admit it. 60 seconds left, not a problem. He even went out and had a smoke, right? And we said, Bruce, you missed it.
You missed the big moment.
And that's it. So let's not miss BioTouch.
Let's not miss that big moment.
We might have been the underdog, but BioTouch is an important part for humanity. So the second thing that came up was, let's see, what was the other one here? The underdog. Oh, the ads. The ads were so different this year. If you really go back and watch them, they had an internal message, a message about equality, about service. What were some of the things? Diversity, whenever you need us. And they had these words and these people and colors and shapes, and that little baby one that I showed you.
Oh, that was wonderful. Don't let people tell you that you're not connected.
Yes.
One of the big things that we're always talking about with BioTouch.
Yes. So talk about this equality, how BioTouch, let's read our vision statement.
Let's read it.
So we're right there with what all these ads were talking about, which means people are talking about equality. They're talking about connectedness. They're talking about being of service. So here's our vision statement.
Here's our vision: to encourage all people to take responsibility for their own health care, empower them to assist others, and create a community of people worldwide dedicated to service, self-awareness, and to recognize the equality of all humanity, thus forming a chain which shall go on indefinitely. Wow. So, and there it is. And there it's been for 30 years.
Right. So we were talking about how this all these ads are using a different language, and even though they might be selling a product that, who knows how good it is for you, it's reaching these ad guys are not stupid. They know what the subconscious wants to hear.
Right.
And when you start talking about service and love and togetherness, that's something that we need to keep talking about, because BioTouch brings us to healing. There's nothing harmful in BioTouch, and it's something that every single one of those people in the stadium could do with one another. So the big thing, if Julie's listening here, you want to get Paul on the circuit, right? Imagine just before the halftime show, if Paul gets out there and he just has everybody raise these two fingers and lightly touch each other on the arm, even for a second.
Oh, yeah. Quiet.
Just
present.
A moment. Yes. So, we can't go against, whatever's happening. I mean, I posted these two things we'll talk about in a minute about concussions. And a lot of people said, oh, I don't watch that, or it's not a celebration to me. But, there's a celebration to me, the fact that people are getting together, whether you agree or disagree with the reason. The key is there's millions upon millions of people together for a moment. And there's an opportunity for BioTouch.
Right.
There's an opportunity.
So while you were talking about that in terms of BioTouch in the Super Bowl, let's take a look a little bit out of the box. Let's take a look at the planet itself as a Super Bowl. Humanity is already in the Super Bowl. We're all present at the same time with each other. Now, when you introduce something like BioTouch into the Super Bowl of just humanity's expression of their lives and our experiences together as a group, well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about getting, that streaming of love, connecting us one to another, and coming together in this great Super Bowl called life.
And people are ready.
Oh,
People are ready. People
It's-
are suffering.
it's
And
time.
that was the third part of how BioTouch relates to the Super Bowl. So, sad to say, if you saw in the Super Bowl there, one of those team members, of course, I'm not a follower of it. I only watch Super Bowl, the only game I
Right.
watch of the year.
Yeah.
So, one of those top-notch team players, you could see it, bam, their heads hit, and you saw his head just go wonk and then wonk back.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it did bring tears to my eyes because I just had posted 2 articles. One was an article in the New York Times about a woman whose husband has CTE, or traumatic brain injury. And then the other one was just posted on the 1st of February. It was a little video with an editorial next to it about, I think there's 27 or 40 traumatic brain injuries on the field last season. And so he took a collage of all those, the videos of them, and showed these heads being banged, and then talked about how, the raising of consciousness, how most of us don't understand the what's happening to these young people that are being banged up, unless it's something close to you. And so, of course, for me, it's real close.
It is.
Because it'd be my stepson-in-law was a kicker for an NFL team, and his life is wasted. He had to leave his family. The anger was too much. He knew, part of him, that if he stayed with his family, he would hurt them because he couldn't control his anger. They actually did an interview with him with ESPN. That's on there. And I'll post this little thing on our website because it helps us wake up to what dangers are happening with this. And it's not about even stopping the enjoyment we have for the game, but it's about waking up to the dangers that are happening. And what was encouraging to me is we've got BioTouch to bring into the game.
Yeah, it is a game changer.
It's a game changer. We know if you take BioTouch, and we're going to show the headsets, we know from experiences that if you could apply BioTouch just doing the headset, especially immediately after a concussion,
Right.
you're going to help the brain heal. We can't prove this CTE or this brain injury until after people are dead. So, it's just like BioTouch. Why wait? We don't need to have the proof. We don't need to wait and work on corpses. We just need to get BioTouch into those locker rooms. We need to get this into the high schools. These high school kids, there's actually the information out now that they're suggesting children don't even play football until they're 14. So imagine having all those parents know BioTouch. So, we enjoy the game, but, there are those moments where we could be injured, and to just have those 2 fingers.
Oh, well, this is like a little medical toolkit.
Yes.
Right there, right?
So on the sidelines, every parent having it for their kids,
Oh, wow. Or if the parent's not there, somebody that knows BioTouch is stepping in. This is the beauty about BioTouch. It can be anybody at any time.
Could be the kids working on each other.
Right.
I mean, my brother was just telling me he plays softball, senior softball, and he was, I don't know where he was at, but anyhow, somebody he was with had this back problem. He could hardly move. And so my brother had the fingers, and, he's not a long-term practitioner, but he's learned the points, and he did some points. And the guy was like, oh my God, I feel better. The pain was gone. And my grandson, who'd learned it when he was playing soccer and rugby, and not rugby, whatever that little stick is.
Oh, yeah.
Lacrosse, that was it.
Lacrosse.
But he had it to, when somebody get banged up or fell over and hurt themselves, he could just do the light touch.
Yeah, that's great.
So, it's so important, in this Super Bowl time to have a tool like this,
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we say it's such, our bodies are fragile. I mean, we can take a lot of beating, but, when we have something like BioTouch that really can help the body to heal and adjust and bring it into a point of wholeness, why aren't we, who said that to us? I can't remember. Somebody said, and why isn't BioTouch just out there already. Why isn't it already part of humanity's experience on a daily basis? Why aren't we using BioTouch across the planet? Yeah, well.
So, BioTouch is related to the Super Bowl. BioTouch is the new Super Bowl.
Oh, we were saying BioTouch equalizes the playing field.
Equalizes the playing field.
Yes.
So, those 3 points, if you have friends that want to hear how we relate BioTouch to the Super Bowl, send them the link to this Facebook post.
Mm-hmm.
And what we'd like to do now is we want to teach you the headset. It works with brain concussions, traumatic brain injury, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, anything that has to do with the brain. And so we'll just show you the points and we'll be right back.
The headset can be used to address conditions related to the brain. There are 4 steps in this set. In step 1, use through fire to touch points A and A. Point A on the back of the head is in the center of the neck at the base of the skull. Point A on the front of the head is at the center of the forehead, where the forehead begins to curve to the crown. Step 2 is performed in crossfire with the fingers of each hand touching on opposite sides of the head. Hold at X, which is in the indentation beside the neck muscle at the base of the skull. It is the same as point 1 of the back set. On the opposite side of the head, touch points 1 through 5. Points 1, 2, and 3 are on the ridge line formed where the skull curves up toward the crown. Point 1 is above the outside corner of the eye on the ridge. Point 2 is above the front of the ear on the ridge. Point 3 is above the back of the ear on the ridge. To locate point 4, move down the head toward the base of the skull to a horizontal indentation approximately 1/3 of the way down from the top of the ear and 1 to 1.5 inches behind the back edge of the ear. Point 5 is opposite hold point X at the base of the skull. Point 5 now becomes the new hold point as points 1 through 5 are touched on the opposite side of the head. In crossfire, touch point 1 above the outside corner of the eye on the ridge, point 2 above the front of the ear on the ridge, point 3 is above the back of the ear on the ridge, point 4 is a horizontal indentation approximately 1/3 of the way down from the top of the ear and 1 to 1.5 inches behind the back edge of the ear. And point 5 is opposite hold point X at the base of the skull. Step 3 is performed in matching fire, touching points 1 and 1, two and 2, three and 3, four and 4, five and 5. Finally, in step 4, place the open palms of both hands on the head covering points 1 through 3. Be careful, don't let your hands touch each other.
Well, I know that might look a little overwhelming, but if you really think about it, we were only touching 5 points, the same points in each step over and over. And that's what we always try to impress upon people who come for our classes. Don't get overwhelmed because they're just a specific amount of points and you're just touching them in different ways. So, we were talking before the show that first point the A and A, there's the point on the back of the head, right at the base of the skull. And then with the other two fingers, you're touching on the front of the head, in the center of the forehead. But if you look at it, you're touching through the head. This is, if you could do nothing, it's like the greeting.
Right.
If you could just do A and A, that's all you could do.
Especially in an emergency. Just get into that greeting and then if you can't remember the points, even touching side to side. So
right.
It's just try it. Try it at home now and even do the greeting and try that and see how that feels even. There's an amazing experience. We have a little testimonial from someone in our class, Hannah, who took the class, which shares of what you were talking about the simplicity of learning it. She said, I had a wonderful time learning BioTouch. What I really liked was the fact that I never once felt overwhelmed. All the instructors made me feel relaxed and that it wasn't a big deal not to worry that the points will come in time. I loved the relaxed way BioTouch just seems to flow.
Well,
so it's easy. And that was in a class, but you can easily learn it by going online to our website, justtouch.com. And become a member, get the whole manual with links to the videos that you just saw.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Learn that headset.
Yeah. And what's posted is our YouTube site where we have all the past Paul and Bev shows and all kinds of other presentations about BioTouch that you can share with everybody else.
Yeah.
So it is time. It is time. The Super Bowl is over, and now it's time for Super BioTouch.
Absolutely.
As you said, changing the game plan. What is it?
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
So we are glad that you joined us today.
Yeah,
Thanks. That was a good one.
That was a good show. Thank you, Paul.
So we will leave you today with our wonderful little clip that just shows BioTouch and sort of takes us into the ozone. So until next week, thank you all.
Thank you. Have a great week.